Most people are breathing wrong, and it's silently keeping their entire life out of tune. That might sound dramatic, but pause for a second. Think about it. You can go weeks without food, days without water, but only minutes without breath. Yet, despite how essential it is, most of us treat breathing like background noise, automatic, unnoticed, and unintentional. The invisible mistake is that we assume breathing is just about survival. But unconscious breathing is not neutral. It constantly sets the rhythm of your nervous system, your emotions, and even your perception of reality. Every shallow inhale, every rushed exhale is like a violin screeching off-key in an orchestra. Without realizing it, you've been conducting your life's music with an untuned instrument. Here's the tension. Every breath you take is either aligning you with harmony or pulling you deeper into chaos. Think of those moments of stress, when your chest tightens, your breath shortens, and suddenly, even small problems feel overwhelming. That isn't random. That's your body being thrown into dissonance because the rhythm of your breath has collapsed into static. The good news: the same mechanism that creates that chaos can also bring everything back into balance. And the tool is conscious breathing. There is one simple shift that can turn your breath into the conductor of your entire life. And I'll reveal it soon. For now, just let the thought sink in. You've been living your whole life with the most powerful instrument already inside you, waiting to be tuned. And if you're ready to take back control of your life's rhythm, subscribe now so you don't miss the practices that transform not just your breath, but your entire state of being. Breath is not just a background process that keeps us alive. Breath is a frequency tuner, the invisible dial that determines whether you're in harmony with yourself or stuck in static. And this is the part almost nobody realizes. The problem isn't that you lack discipline, motivation, or willpower. The deeper truth is that most people are simply out of tune. Their breath is running on autopilot, and as a result, their nervous system and emotions follow that same unconscious rhythm. Think of your breath as a musical instrument. When it's ignored, it drifts out of key. Shallow, anxious breathing is like a violin screeching against the flow of the orchestra, harsh, unstable, and impossible to enjoy. But when you take charge and breathe consciously, something extraordinary happens. Your inhale and exhale fall into rhythm, and suddenly, it's as if a full orchestra has been tuned to perfect pitch. The chaos turns into coherence. The static turns into music. Here's why that matters. Your breath is the one function that bridges body and mind. You can't directly command your heartbeat or your digestion, but you can command your breath. And when you do, it influences everything else. Conscious breathing is the entry point into presence, alignment, and clarity. It doesn't matter how many affirmations you repeat, how many goals you set, or how hard you push yourself. If your inner rhythm is out of tune, the results will always feel forced. And remember the question I left hanging earlier, the one simple shift that turns your breath into the conductor of your life. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting closer. In a moment, I'll show you exactly how to use your breath to tune into the life you actually want. To really understand why conscious breathing is so powerful, we need to bridge science and metaphor. Let's start with the science. When you breathe in a shallow, rapid way, you activate the sympathetic branch of your nervous system, the part responsible for fight or flight. This means higher cortisol levels, racing thoughts, and a body that believes it's under threat. But when you slow your breath, when you deepen the inhale and extend the exhale, something remarkable happens. You activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the branch that restores balance, lowers stress hormones, and opens the doorway to creativity and clarity. In other words, your breath doesn't just oxygenate your body, it dictates which operating system your brain and body run on. The HeartMath Institute has shown that conscious breathing directly creates heart-brain coherence, a measurable state where the electromagnetic rhythm of the heart synchronizes with the brain. When you're in coherence, your body becomes more efficient, your thoughts more ordered, and your perception of reality shifts from scattered to focused. That's not mystical. It's measurable science. Yet the experience of it feels almost spiritual, as though you're stepping into a greater harmony. Now let's connect that to metaphor. Picture an orchestra. Without a conductor, each musician might play beautifully, but the timing will be chaotic and the music won't blend. Conscious breathing is the conductor. It unifies the sections of your inner orchestra, your emotions, your thoughts, your body, and brings them into rhythm. Another metaphor, a radio tuner. When you breathe shallowly, it's like being stuck between stations, where all you hear is static. But when you breathe consciously, you dial into a clear signal, the frequency of presence, focus, and alignment. Experts like Joe Dispenza talk about breath as the gateway to neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself. He explains that the breath shifts your state, and when your state changes, your brain begins firing new neural patterns that match that state. Bruce Lipton, with his research on the biology of belief, highlights how stress chemicals can literally switch genes on and off. Conscious breathing changes the chemical environment of your body, meaning it can shift not only how you feel, but what your biology expresses. Greg Braden often describes the field of possibilities, the quantum space of potential realities. Breathing consciously aligns your inner state with that field, making you a vibrational match to outcomes that would otherwise feel out of reach. And for those of us on this path, this explanation resonates because we've felt it. Anxiety feels like static-filled radio. Presence feels like music. We've seen how just one deep breath before speaking in public can shift us from trembling to steady authority. That's not just psychology. It's physics, biology, and consciousness converging in one act, the act of conscious breathing. So when we talk about quantum manifestation or reality creation, it's not some distant, abstract idea. It begins here, in the body, with the breath. Every inhale and exhale is either collapsing potential into chaos or tuning you into coherence. Conscious breathing is the hinge point where science and spirituality meet. And in a moment, I'll show you exactly how to practice it. Here's where most of us unknowingly sabotage ourselves. We think we're being productive, moving forward, or handling stress. But our breathing patterns are silently reinforcing the very states we want to escape. Picture this. You're rushing out the door in the morning, juggling coffee, phone, and keys. Your breath becomes shallow, locked high in the chest. Physiologically, that signals to your body that you're in danger, even though all you're doing is running late. The result? Elevated stress hormones, racing thoughts, and a nervous system on overdrive before the day even begins. Another common scenario: traffic. You sigh, you huff, you mutter under your breath. Each exhale is forced and irregular. In those moments, you think you're just expressing frustration, but biologically, you're programming your system for agitation. Or think about arguments. Many of us literally hold our breath while waiting to respond. That breath holding triggers tension in the body and tells your brain, this moment is unsafe. The paradox is clear. The very way we breathe in stressful situations deepens the stress itself. We've all been there, scrolling through our phones, shoulders hunched, breathing shallow and fast without realizing it. The irony is that we may be looking for relief, inspiration, or connection, but the physical act of unconscious breathing while scrolling is tuning us to more static, more dissonance, more internal noise. The invisible trap is that these patterns feel normal. We think, this is just how life is. But in reality, unconscious breathing is training the body to stay in chaos. It becomes a loop. Stress creates shallow breath amplifies stress, and the cycle repeats. And here's the subtle twist. Effort and willpower don't break the cycle, because if the breath remains out of tune, the nervous system won't stabilize. So the misstep isn't lack of effort, it's misalignment. Many of us are working hard, trying new tools, repeating affirmations, but doing it all while the orchestra inside is still out of sync. Until the breath becomes conscious, the music of life will always feel just a little off-key. Take a moment and let this sink in. The problem isn't that you're not trying hard enough. It's not that you lack discipline, motivation, or the right mindset. The frustration you felt, the sense of being stuck, the endless cycle of effort that never quite lands, none of that is because you're broken. It's because no one ever taught you how to breathe consciously. You've been expected to play the symphony of your life without being shown how to tune your instrument first. That changes the story completely. It means your struggles are not a reflection of weakness, but of misalignment. And that is incredibly freeing, because misalignment can be corrected. Imagine the relief of realizing that the chaos you've been battling wasn't a personal flaw. It was simply your body's rhythm running off key. With conscious breathing, you have the ability to bring it back into harmony at any moment. Think about how empowering that is. You don't need expensive equipment, years of training, or someone else's permission. You already have the tool. Right now, inside your lungs and nervous system, you carry the switch that can shift you from scattered to centered, from reactive to intentional, from chaos to clarity. And the moment you realize this, the entire weight of self-blame starts to lift. So instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" you can ask, "What tune am I breathing right now?" That shift is enough to dissolve years of frustration and open the door to possibility. And if this message resonates with you, if you felt the truth of it in your own body while listening, I'd invite you to like this video, because the more people who reconnect with this hidden power, the stronger the ripple effect becomes for all of us. Right now, pause with me for a moment. Don't rush past this. Just notice your breath as it is in this very instant. Ask yourself, what is the soundtrack of my breathing? Does it feel like harmony, smooth, steady, carrying me with ease? Or does it feel like static, shallow, irregular, a little out of rhythm? This question matters more than it seems, because your breath is not only reflecting your state, it's shaping it. Most of us never stop to listen in this way. We focus on our thoughts, our goals, our schedules, but the subtle background rhythm of breath is left unchecked. Yet this rhythm has been conducting the emotional tone of your entire day. People like us, those who've already started waking up to the deeper connection between body and mind, know that small questions like this can open huge doors. So just feel into it now. Without trying to change anything yet, simply witness the pattern. Is it fast? Is it heavy? Is it calm? Let yourself recognize the truth of how you've been breathing today. And remember the loop we opened earlier. Soon, I'll show you the exact shift that turns your breath into the conductor of your life. Now let's get practical. It's one thing to understand the science and metaphor of conscious breathing, but the real transformation happens when you bring it into your daily life. And here's the good news. It doesn't need to be complicated. In fact, simplicity is the secret. Consistency, not complexity, is what rewires your nervous system and retunes your inner orchestra. Let me walk you through a simple 3-step exercise you can begin using today. First, inhale slowly through your nose. Imagine you're tuning in, like turning the dial of a radio toward a clear station. Let that inhale be full, but not forced, filling your lungs from the bottom up. Second, pause gently at the top of the breath. This is not about straining or holding tightly. It's about finding a moment of stillness, like the silence before the conductor lifts their baton. Third, exhale steadily through your mouth. Let it be slow and complete, as if you're releasing tension and letting your body fall into harmony. That exhale is the signal to your nervous system that it's safe, that order has replaced chaos. If you practice this cycle, inhale, pause, exhale, for even 2 minutes a few times a day, you'll begin to notice the shift. Your thoughts become clearer. Your body feels lighter. Situations that once pulled you into reactivity start to feel more manageable. And if you extend this practice to 5 or 10 minutes, the coherence becomes unmistakable. Think of it as tuning each string of your instrument until the whole orchestra resonates. At first, one string may be out of key, but with each round of conscious breathing, you bring more and more of yourself into alignment. Over time, this becomes your default state. And this is where so many in our community are seeing results. People report sleeping better, handling stress more effectively, and even noticing synchronicities that seem to arrive out of nowhere, because their inner frequency is finally aligned. Now, if you want a structured way to take this further, to organize your breathwork and coherence practices into a guided path, I invite you to explore the Trail. It's our digital program designed to help you go deeper with exactly these kinds of tools. Inside, you'll find step-by-step guidance to make conscious breathing and alignment part of your everyday life. The link is in the description, and it can serve as the next step if you're ready to make this more than a passing insight. Remember, conscious breathing is not about doing something extraordinary once. It's about returning to a simple, repeatable rhythm that gradually transforms the way you live. Here's something important to remember. You will fall out of rhythm. You will forget to breathe consciously. You'll catch yourself rushing, holding your breath in traffic, or sliding back into shallow patterns when stress takes over. And that's not failure. That's being human. The goal of conscious breathing isn't to stay perfectly in tune every moment of the day. The real victory is how quickly you can retune once you notice you've drifted. Think about it like an orchestra again. Even the best musicians occasionally slip off tempo. What makes them great is not flawless perfection, but their ability to listen, adjust, and come back into harmony almost instantly. The same is true for us. Those of us on this path know that the music of life sometimes drifts. The skill we develop is bringing it back, breath by breath. Relapses are normal. Distractions are inevitable. But each time you remember to come back to your breath, you strengthen the neural pathways of coherence. Each moment of awareness is like striking the right chord again, training your system to find harmony more easily next time. So instead of judging yourself when you notice old patterns, celebrate the fact that you noticed at all. That awareness is progress. That moment of conscious return is the practice. And as a community walking this road together, we remind each other that the music doesn't stop when a note is missed. It continues, and with every breath, we have the chance to guide it back into resonance. Now comes the moment to anchor this, not just as an idea, but as a choice. Right here, right now, you can declare a new rhythm for your life. I want to invite you to take one conscious breath with me. Inhale slowly, pause, and exhale fully. Feel how even in that one cycle, something inside you shifts. That shift is not imaginary. It is the exact moment your breath stops being background noise and becomes the conductor of your life. And here's the symbolic action. In the comments, write the phrase, "I choose to breathe in harmony." This isn't just about interaction. It's a declaration, a way of signaling to yourself, to your community, and even to the field of possibilities that from this moment forward, your breath is no longer random. It is intentional. It is music. Remember the narrative loop I opened at the beginning, the one simple shift that can transform your entire state. This is it, conscious breathing. It turns static into clarity, dissonance into harmony, and ordinary moments into portals of alignment. From this point on, see yourself differently. You are not just someone trying to manage stress or chase clarity. You are the conductor of your own life, and conscious breathing is your baton. Each inhale and exhale is no longer random. It's the rhythm by which you guide your mind, body, and reality back into alignment. That identity is powerful because it means you no longer wait for the world to set your tone. You create it from within. And this journey doesn't end here. Every day gives you countless opportunities to retune. In the morning before your day begins, in the middle of challenges, or in quiet moments when you want to reconnect. People like us know this is not a one-time trick, but an ongoing practice. Conscious breathing is the thread that ties every part of transformation together. If this message feels aligned with your path, subscribe and stay connected. Each week, we'll explore deeper ways to live in harmony, so your life keeps expanding note by note. And remember, your very next inhale is your next opportunity to retune your life.